Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're having a great morning or afternoon or wherever you are. Hope you're having a great day. Dan, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I was confused for a second. You said Happy Tuesday. I'm like, wait, we do these on Monday. Oh
I'm
yeah,
just glad
yeah
I got it right.
yeah.
Honestly, I will like my brain was wandering there, and then I looked down and it was at zero, and I was up. And I was like, "Hello."
hmm I mean, it's funny if you're new out there to live streaming. I'm gonna tell you. I've been live streaming since I don't know 2012, like even before
Old
Switcher was a
timer.
thing. Like maybe even earlier, like maybe like 2010. Regardless, I still get that thing. Like this morning, I'm like, all right, we ready? And like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. I feel like I'm
hmm
gonna mess something
Every
up.
time.
So,
Yeah. Yep. And
just
then you do autopilot, and you're like, "I'm all right. I'm doing
that's
it."
what it's like. I feel like I should have been spending more time getting set up or doing something. Like I'm like, okay, I've got the right thing chosen there. I think I'm doing this right. Okay, let's
You
just
just were telling me you had a really long weekend. For those who just joining us, ask your questions. We're gonna get to them, but
yep. Oh
while
yeah,
we
yeah.
wait
Yeah.
for those
Let me
to
put that
begin,
up there.
we'll chat. You had a long weekend. You went to Nebraska.
Yeah, I was out driving. Went to a buddy's wedding up in Omaha. So, but we stayed in Lincoln. They're only like 30 minutes apart. But yeah, so that's 11 hours from Louisville.
Gosh,
So a lot of driving, but it was worth it. Hadn't seen the guys I was hanging out with in a couple of years. So yeah,
mm.
getting the band
Well,
back together.
well, I'm glad you made it back safely.
Yeah, you did
I was in
some driving
Niagara
too,
last
right?
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we drove to Niagara. We stayed. My eldest and I stayed right on Lake Ontario, and it was
Did you
beautiful.
camp?
We did camp. Yeah, we took a
Nice.
tent and just made it like pretty easy. Did all the touristy things at Niagara. Um, was like 70 degrees there during the day and 55 at night. And then we
Oh, that's
came back
perfect.
to Louisville area, and it was like heat index of 110, and I was kind of dying. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a little bit much for me. Uh,
Hello from
yeah,
Australia. Yeah.
yeah.
Hey
Paula, good
there.
morning or good day to
Good
you as
day.
well.
I'm not going to pretend.
Uh,
Yeah.
No. Hope you're doing well. If you are just joining us, Dan and I do this usually Mondays, but weekly at least. When we can't Monday, yesterday in the US, it was a holiday. So
Mm-hmm.
we bumped it to Tuesday. And we are here to answer your questions, live streaming or other. So please ask them in the chat and we will help you make better live streams. That's why we do these things.
Yeah. I've got a question for you as we get going, Matt.
Oh gosh.
No, it's a good one. I mean,
Okay.
we didn't
Okay.
rehearse this, but I feel like you can answer pretty quickly, and I feel like
Okay.
it's relevant because Switcher 8.0 just released recently,
Yeah.
um, and one of the components was a lot of the live selling stuff, and
Hmm.
you did one of those live streams with Asia last Wednesday, was it?
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
it was
last
last
Wednesday.
Wednesday. It seems like forever ago, but also now at the same time. Yeah, just
I'm
last
just
Wednesday.
curious your thoughts on that experience or how that went.
I thought it went really well. That was my first ever like live selling live stream. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't typically do live selling live streams, but really like it was pretty like straightforward. Like once you got all your items set up, like it just, hey, you want to have someone purchase this item, just put it on the screen and there's the code for you. Um, really like it was very smooth. Um,
Yeah.
and if you all have any type of live selling, live streaming experience, I think this is going to be huge for you all. Like I know we've heard from a lot of live sellers that it was a lot of work trying to nail down all the sales they made after the live stream, like trying to keep track of everything. So having a bot take care of all of that for you is just huge. So
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine that it's going to be a game changer for a lot of live sellers. For me, it was just very straightforward, very smooth. Um,
Do
I
you know
need to
what
work more on my descriptions of things, but I felt pretty good.
Yeah, you can't make up stuff like me and my beard hair or something like the
Yeah.
Office Olympics.
I was really trying to be like as professional as possible during that live stream.
Hmm
I think I did
Yeah,
okay.
I'll tell you. I'm gonna shout out two people on our team, and that's a different Dan Klepeek and Claire,
Yeah.
who kind of ran the show. That was one of the first live streams that I didn't really have a hand in at all at Switcher, and it was really cool to just sit back. I had Thursday and Friday off last week, so I was rushing to get some other stuff done. So I just kind of had it up on the side and watching you guys go. And I was just like, man, this is great. I'm not like, this production's going off without a hitch and I don't have to worry about it. So yeah, shout out to those.
Yeah, I bet that felt really nice to not have to have your hands on everything. So good morning.
This is Kevin. Yeah, everyone's saying
good morning. Hope you're doing well.
Reminder, we're here to answer questions like we used to call these office hours, where we're just here, we'll hang out, we'll chat about stuff, or whatever. So if you have other questions about other things, let us know too. And if there's no questions, that's fine. I know it's kind of weird. We're at a different time and whatnot. So
hey, we can talk a little bit about 8.1 because that's going to be releasing here in the next anytime now, I would suppose.
I think it went out, didn't it?
You're going to have to help me a little bit. I think it was supposed to go out yesterday, but because of the holiday, I'm guessing that it's going to be today.
I'm trying to pull up the notes to
at least
sure
I don't have it available yet for myself to download or update. But there's going to be a whole being able to use clips to reels and clips to stories on Facebook. Correct. Yeah. Correct. Both of those. So being able to clips, if you don't know what those are, check it out. Reels, if you don't know what those are, check it out. Honestly, those are, if you want your stuff to be discovered on Facebook, those are the routes that you want to go. People are looking for short video form updates and like just that, like short video is where it's at now. I've been doing a little bit of research on my own, like as far as like where my Instagram used to be my most popular social media is for like just photos. Now Facebook, like as far as like photos and updates and things like that, like Facebook is kind of taking that. But if I do like a short video, like those are huge. Like you can see exactly how many people have viewed them as well. So being able to easily take some of your live streams and then upload them into clips and reels is going to be a game changer. So
I'm trying to find
did I miss anything on that? I think that's
I think that's the big stuff. I'm trying to find like the exact like documents here, but yeah, I know the clips was the big thing that you're talking about. So
yeah,
I think you hit that. We mentioned we're just talking about the live selling that we had just did last week. Do you have more information about the one we're doing tomorrow? Is that you again? Are you involved?
No, I'm not a part of that one tomorrow. It's going to be Morgan from our team.
Okay, that's right.
And I think that one is with Pink Tag.
Hey, I'll just say, if Paula, if you're still watching us here over on YouTube, check that one out. Morgan's from Australia too. I don't know where. I don't think it's Sydney.
Melbourne?
Melbourne, maybe?
I might be making that up. But yeah, he's also from Australia. He was just there a month ago visiting friends and family and came on back. But yeah, I think Wednesday is going to be with Morgan. He's hosting, and it is with
Pink Tag.
Yep. So it's at 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So
that one's fun too. Yeah, they're super cool. It's a group here local to Louisville, and they've been using Switcher for other things as well, other than for live selling, but before 8.0. So it's kind of cool. You kind of saw how we would do it, with the Switcher product last week, and then this coming week you can really get a feel for how a company is actually using it right now. And check that out as well.
Yep. And then on the 28th, I will be a part of that live stream. That's with Asia, and I will be hosting it. We're doing it with Dave from iOgrapher.
Oh, cool.
And he is just getting into live selling. So kind of getting the perspective of like, how do you start it and how the process has gone for him. So we'll have some great questions for him. So that, again, that's going to be Wednesday the 28th at 12. Well, I think it's actually 1 p.m. I lied. Both of those are at 1 p.m. We're supposed to be at the office at 12. So 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Or, you can start watching early.
Yeah, whenever.
Should we do some Wi-Fi stuff here from Surge Studio?
Yeah, absolutely.
What is the best 4G, 5G portable router for filming in pop-up churches? I'll tell you how I've done it in the past, and that's especially by pop-up churches, I'm assuming you're meaning kind of like you're going out into the world and doing a live stream from different locations. And what I recommend for that is a hotspot. specifically a hotspot that has an Ethernet port into it, so you can kind of create your own local network and then use um, that the hotspot to just stream with. So what
Right.
I've done in the past is use a Nighthawk and Netgear Nighthawk. I've used the M1 for a while. We also have the M5 now that we're getting set up. So once we have that set up, we can
Oh
tell you
yeah, I
a
just
little
came in
bit
the
more about
office not
that.
long ago.
So yeah, Nighthawk is good. Now that's one thing that's important that you'll need to know is find like your carrier for you who is working well, or
Hmm.
like who like in the places you're going who has good coverage, and that's the first thing I would check for if you're looking for a fully portable thing. I honestly, you could probably go in and tell them, hey, this like if you went into one of these stores that sells your carrier store and be like, hey, I'm trying to live stream. I need a plan that's not going to throttle. I need this amount of upload speed,
Hmm.
and preferably if the hotspot you're going to want to have something that has an Ethernet port on it. And what I do with that is you can get the Google Pucks or something else, like a different router. I know there's a lot of gaming routers out there that will work really well for this.
Hmm.
I personally like the Google Pucks because they can plug into Anchor batteries or whatever, like portable USB-C batteries. So you can be completely remote. And yeah, so what you're doing there is you're basically setting up your own local network with that Google Puck. That's what the switcher's connecting from. And then you're sending that video out from there via the Ethernet cable to that hotspot, in our case, the Nighthawk. And yeah, it just really loosens or drops the load needed by the Nighthawk, having that extra little bit there. We've done a pretty big video on this in the past, so if you search on YouTube or yeah, I'm just seeing you say it must be cellular. So yeah, that would be the hotspot. Would be the best option there. If you search for networking on YouTube as a live stream, you should be able to have that pop up and see that there. But yeah, so when I'm telling you to get like a router as well, or a router as well, that's not really going to be connected to the internet per se. It's just connecting your cameras, and then we're sending that feed
Right.
from the cameras to that hotspot. I love talking that one. That is a really important thing. I know a lot of our pro users or people who have used Switcher Studio for a long time will say bring your own network is like the first thing they
Yep.
do. Even if
Yep.
it's like that there's a network there, you can bring your own local network, connect the cameras to that, and go from there.
Yep. He's saying that he tried the hotspot from the phone.
Yeah, so that can work. I know I've seen some users get really good results using the new is it 5G? Are we up to 6G? I don't remember.
The 5G. Yeah, 5G.
5G. The new 5G M1 chip iPads they're able to get good results with. Where the phone hotspots at least typically are more catered to just emails, maybe streaming some video, like if you're just watching it or something like that. But they're not really set up to handle like 3-4 different angles, all that video being transferred around and then streamed out. So if you're stuck using the hotspot from the phone, I would try either limiting the amount of extra devices you have connected to it.
Yes.
So if you have like 4 camera angles, maybe just try and use the built-in camera and one other one, and make sure
Yeah, I
those
can
devices are closer
log it
together.
way down. Yep.
Yeah, and you might even it might be worth dropping the quality of the stream too.
Yep.
I would almost say do a medium versus what I'm talking about with the Nighthawk, the Netgear Nighthawk, and like a Google router. Like this will allow you to stream at those much better qualities.
Yep. You mentioned we just got a Nighthawk, and hopefully in the next month or so, we're going to go out and do some on location type streaming. Honestly, it might be helpful for us to kind of just go out and go live sometime and say, hey, this is how we're going live, on location, what we brought, how we're doing it, just to show you all, and maybe do a coffee and questions. We'll call it from the road. on location
Yeah,
coughing
we'll have
question.
to do it. We'll have to do a coughing question. There's actually a pretty sweet little park right by our office, especially in the summer. You know, before it gets too hot, it might be cool to get out there and set something up there.
Yeah.
So only the iPad Pro can use cellular, and I made a network, but didn't work. Yeah, I mean the other things kind of come into effect too when you're setting up these live streams. Like double check your networking speeds, even with your cell. You know, make sure you're getting that upload speed that you need for whatever the quality you're selecting. I know like 720p, you're looking at 5 to 8 megabits of upload speed, and at 1080p you need 10 absolute minimum, probably even more, just to make sure you have that reliable connection and it's not going to drop out.
Right.
And that's why I recommend maybe dropping the qualities or, limiting the number of devices there, just so things don't slow down and cause some backup.
Yeah.
Or we can go to
We
a coffee
talked.
shop maybe too. I feel
I
like
was thinking about
coffee
that too. Yeah,
questions.
like maybe talking to a coffee shop and be like, "Hey, would you mind us setting up here and doing a quick live
Go
stream?"
over to Quills
Give
and
it-
go
Yeah,
outside over there.
give him a shout
You
out.
know.
We talked a little, quite a bit about like the live selling that came with 8.0. And if you're just joining, please ask your questions. We'll get to them as soon as they come in. And this is a shorter one. That's no problem. But we can talk a little bit about what came out with 8.0. We mentioned the live selling, the whole Shopify integration with Carter, but also like what we didn't talk about is like the RTMP reconnect, which is
Yeah.
huge. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things here. I can show you where that is on an iPad, and this can help with that networking stuff as well. So that's under here under outputs. You can see it. So you have your broadcasting stuff and then broadcasting options. There's this RTMP reconnect. It's experimental right now, but we're pretty confident in it. For every single live stream I do from now on, I'm always going to have it enabled. For instance, like on mine right here, I have it selected on right now as well. But the reason it's useful is, as we've all had at some point, the internet drops out a little bit here or there, and you get that stop broadcast and recording or continue recording option. Well, now there's a try to reconnect, which does what we used to do, where we did the stop broadcasting, tell you to start recording immediately or start the broadcast again. Well, it's going to do the same thing as before, but this time the recording is going to continue. And if we're able to connect again, the stream is going to continue going, no problem whatsoever. And what your viewers will see is a slight buffer in the video, and then they're going to jump to real time from the stuff that they miss. So it might be 30 seconds or so that they're going to miss. But that 30 seconds, instead of now, like before, being completely missed as part of the production, or you'd have to go back and combine those two together, you now have that entire recording is going to be there on both Switcher Studio, like as you're recording physically, if you have that on the device, and in the cloud, wherever you're streaming to, the entire playback is going to be there. So super, super good.
We also, now in director mode, you can do 60 frames per second. So heads up on that. And 4K has returned in director mode as soon as as long as you're updated with the newest iOS. That is all good for you.
I see some from Brandon over here.
Yeah.
Talking about some cool stuff. I wish I could put the whole thing. You
Yeah.
guys are going to just have to pretend or just know that the rest of it's there. Transferring assets from one iOS to another, lower thirds graphic. It would be cool to customize the multi-views. For example, the AB view with the flap. You can't swap the small and large windows, other small things, and the various multi-views. Yeah, great suggestions. Brandon, I can tell you that if you plug your iPhone or that main switcher device into a Mac, there you can get to the files from the Finder window. There's like a files tab, and you can get to switcher, and you can just drag it, copy all those files onto your computer, and drop them into into another iPad once they're all off the old one. Disconnect it, plug in your new iPad, and just drop them all into the switcher file. And that's a way that you can kind of transfer all those files over to the new one. But being able to do it all together would be good. And yeah, let me take a look at the other one too, because I think that's an interesting idea.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, over here on YouTube from Mary, we bought a 58 millimeter lens, but have had no luck getting it to stay on our camera iPhone lens and work because they have 3 lenses and it covers 2 of them and won't focus with the third one. Any suggestions for a lens that can do a close-up? Our iPhone lens seems to be too grainy. So I guess those are kind of together there.
Okay, access to the rest of this. The big thing I would say is double check that you have the correct sort of lens for, like, make sure it's an iPhone or iOS specific lens, because if it's just like a 58 millimeter, it might not work great. And I have a feeling that's probably what's going on.
Did they make new lenses for like the 12 had 3?
That's
lenses,
the other
right?
thing I was going to mention, and I think you're right there. Like, double check when you're purchasing these things.
Right. It's
make sure that
it's made for one, like just 2.
Yeah, you have to double check like what devices is it compatible with. Like the iPhone 13s obviously have the 3 lenses, and a lot of them are like kind of set up differently. We've seen a ton of people who we've done interviews with them on here, and it seems like the consensus is we've asked them what lenses are you using, because you're using an extra lens on it, and they say, honestly, I went to Amazon and found a $20 one that would fit my my iPhone and use that, and it's worked great. So
I know a lot of people use Moment lenses.
Yeah, Moment lenses,
but
a big
really
one.
but like Dan said, there's not a lot of like, it's gonna zoom. Like, it depends on, you can probably spend as much money as you want to on one, but really check the reviews on them. If you're a part of our enthusiast group, like, I would ask in there as well, but I'm guessing a lot of people will say they use Moment lenses. So but make sure you're getting one that's specifically made for your whatever version of phone you have. I'm guessing it's a 12 or a 13, because I know that even looking at cases for those, like compared from the 11 to the 12, like they, like the area where the camera is, like it's now wider instead of longer. So it's not going to quite fit. So
it looks like she wrote in, and people said, probably the support team said to use Moment. They are really great. They can be a little bit more pricey too. So, but they are just great quality products. Honestly, Dave with Iographer, we mentioned earlier, Iographer I think has some lenses on their site too that might be worth checking out as well.
Awesome. Okay.
Let's say this one here from Serge again. What about tracking from the Osmo? Is that coming in an update? Unfortunately, that tracking isn't a part of the SDK that we're able to plug into. At least that's my understanding. So we have the pan and tilt, and then of course you have the zoom within Switcher Studio. So that's kind of what we have to work with. But I do think it'd be cool. Now there are some kind of interesting things I've seen out there. You could consider, like, I've seen a tripod head, like tripod heads that, and you could probably search this on, basically just search like, I don't know, remote control tripod head or something like that. But what they would do is you basically get like a little sensor and you clip that onto the pastor, whoever it is. And then there's like the sensor reader is on this tripod head, and it'll just move it back and forth depending on where it senses that sensor is. So there are some other cool ways that you can do it, because that obviously isn't going to connect directly with Switcher, and you're not going to be able to manually control where it moves within Switcher Studio, but it'll do it automatically for you.
Okay, Brendan's talking a little bit more here about,
I guess what I mean, if I make a bunch of lower thirds, names, descriptions, the small bubbles or drop down lower thirds that I custom make with the Switcher Studio templates. Bubbles or drop down lower thirds. I'm not entirely sure what we're saying.
Sometimes we need to swap iPads, or we need to do it all on one iPad. Then a week later, take another iPad to an event that maybe have customized. I think after, we should use the lower thirds we made over.
Yeah,
Just,
I hopefully what I was saying with the plugging into a computer and transfer them that way might work. You can also put them on the Switcher cloud, like upload a bunch of those to the Switcher cloud and download them that way. Like once you have them up there, just
yeah, I was gonna
log
say
into
cloud. Yeah.
that same account on a different iPad and go that way.
Yeah.
I might ping you after, Brandon, and pick your brain a little bit about some of this stuff. Oh yeah, Nick's in here too, and he says if you need motion tracking, try the new iPad with Apple Center Stage feature. Yeah, I forgot all about that. That's also, I mean, it does require the new
Oh,
the
right.
new iPads, but yeah, that does have some kind of tracking on
Sometimes
it
I
as well.
forget about like what is available on some of the newer devices because I have some older devices. So thanks, Nick.
Yeah,
Great.
Nick coming in clutch there.
Thanks, Nick.
I like Brandon being like, Brandon and Kevin, like these guys. You just see Facebook user here. That's Brandon and Kevin. They're both with WeStream, and I know they have like their WeStream account is connected. That's why they to Switcher. That's why you just see Facebook. But yeah, I'll ping you guys after this because they've been with us forever, and let's talk about what you're thinking and see what's possible.
Nice. Hey, if you're just joining us, please ask your questions. That's why Dan and I are here. We want to help you make better live streams. Between the two of us, we have many years of live streaming experience, so we would love to help you make your live streams better. I know some of you who have been, like we said here, Kevin and Brandon have been streaming forever, but others are just starting. And even if you have been going for a long time, sometimes you have questions as well. So please ask them. Like we said, we do this every week, usually on Monday. Today is Tuesday because of holiday, but yeah.
I'm going to put Mary was asking, I think she was talking about the lenses, and she said, can you share that site? I'm not sure which one that was.
The iOgrapher, or
maybe if I think Claire's probably on YouTube.
Yeah.
Claire, if you could ping Mary to the iOgrapher site, and I guess the Moment one too, just so they can see those. Just so we have both those in there in the comments. That would be really useful. These comments for people who, if you're watching this on Facebook right now, you can see like right below Matt, you see like the YouTube thing there. We're multi-streaming, which is another one of those cool features within Switcher. So we have comments coming in from both YouTube and Facebook, and I always see like, I could see that being confusing sometimes.
Yeah, and that's a pretty new feature. Just not many months old that we introduced through the app. So, all right, one just came in from Terry here. Oh, hey,
I'll just say really quick, the WeStream, the OG, 2015, like these, for the folks who again just joining or new Switcher users, like these guys were around doing 9 camera productions when you were only allowed to connect 4 cameras to Switcher Studio at a time. So they're doing some funky, cool stuff, and we're glad they're still here, rocking and rolling with Switcher. Let's get Terry's question.
Yeah, do we have a way to save a specific scene with chosen cameras and graphics / backgrounds?
Yeah, check out Cards. Cards is kind of how you can do some of this. It's a bit limited right now with what all is possible, but that's one of those things we're going to be iterating on and making better, and want to make the best options possible. For instance, here, let me get rid of some of this extra stuff, and I'll go to here's this card that Matt and I use. This one when we're getting set up, and with that one tap, I have the multi-view, I have the text there. We have other ones that allow you to add other things as well. So here, let me swap over here and show you plus icon and go to Cards, and you can choose, like, do you want a camera as a background? Do you want 2 views, like 2 videos? So here's a bunch of these options that you're able to use within Switcher. And, we have these live selling examples as well, where you can do like images as well, add your timers if you wanted to do that as well. So all sorts of stuff.
Awesome.
I'm sure
and those timers are customizable, just so you know. You can
Yep.
you can change them.
Yeah. Thanks, Tim. I see Tim in there. Just
thank you,
put in the thing for how to use cards. Good question.
Awesome. Great.
So
all right.
Euan, audio from a USB mixer was crackly today. I'm wondering if it's the order I turned on devices. Have you had any similar issues or have any tips? In my experience, if it's the audio is crackling some, it's typically one of two things. It's a bad cable or a bad connection. So that's where I would start. Just make sure everything's plugged in all the way.
Yeah.
And
try
then
different cables if you have them.
Yeah. Go down the list. Like just start isolating each possible individual thing. So it's like if you have like an XLR cable, try into your mixer, try changing that. Try changing the USB output cable, all those things. And then the other thing, which I don't think, because I know you've done a ton of this stuff, but I hear people say crackling, and what's happening is their audio is popping because it's getting too loud and too hot. The mics are too loud.
Yeah.
So you, and I know you're an expert on that, so I assume it's probably not that one for you, but just so everybody knows, if you look over here, this VU meter up here, maybe I can bang and get it up into the red.
There it is.
See, if it's getting all the way up there into that red, then you might be getting some of that crackling as well.
Yeah. You didn't say buzzing, but I would just make sure there's no other interference as well. Sometimes if you have a phone or other device too close to your audio stuff, especially your microphone, like it's going to kind of make like a buzzing, cracking sound.
Yeah. That's yeah. Like even after doing audio for a number of years, I remember Nick, I don't know if Nick's still watching here or not. We were doing the Kentucky Broadcaster Association. We had, we were doing a bunch of videos for them. I don't know if we were live streaming or just recording it, but either way, we had run, and this was back in the day of before we had XLR or not XLR, HDMI cables to run. We were using RCA, so I had a really long RCA run, and it was taped down with gaff tape with a extension cord for power, and we were getting a buzz in our audio, and Nick was able to isolate the issue of, it's because that RCA cable is with the power, and I had never heard of that before. So another thing to consider.
And let us know if you figure it out. Let us know. We'd love to just be updated on some of these issues you all are having. Or if it's something else you find out that it was, let us know. It'd be awesome. Terry's asking, he says that's perfect here on Facebook.
Yeah, I see that.
Will it remember cameras from previous sessions?
Yeah, so I can, let me show you this here, what you can do, because like every single time Matt joins me and like I plug in, I have kind of these you can do this with multi-views as well as just the cards, but I will swap over here and show you, for instance. So notice how like these just say like ABC. This one's like AB. This one here too. Like to do it the old way, I would have to go 1, 2 and get those both up there like that. You can, however, have something like this, which is a multi-view, and I'll come in and I'll edit it so you can see. And the slot assignment is what you want to change. You want to choose pre-select. And you can choose different camera angles to have always be showing up here. Now, I only have the built-in camera here, but like if I came into B, I'd have the option to choose another camera if I had it connected here. And that's what I have going on with mine. And once you connect those devices, they're always going to be there, as long as they're named the same.
That's so helpful.
Yeah.
So helpful.
Okay. Yeah, I saw some other stuff.
Let's see.
Serge talking about the Osmo. Thank you, Redstone, for
the
kind words.
Awesome.
Really appreciate that. The Rodecaster Pros are great, great, great. I'm just. Are you seeing stuff? I'm just trying to
I'm
catch up on
laughing
these
at
comments too.
you in here. It was more roboticized, like a Dalek from all sources.
Wait,
That's
what's
funny.
that?
It's on YouTube. He was saying his audio it sounded like a Dalek. It's
Oh, okay.
roboticized.
Okay, hold on. Um, I'm just trying to think of other things that could be going on there. Ewan, are you using how are your mics? Do you have a wireless mic? Because that could be another thing.
Oh yeah.
The Wi-Fi might be choosing a similar bandwidth and having trouble connecting.
Oh, that's a good call.
Double check the battery. I've seen that with that robot style issues is like the Wi-Fi interference or the batteries are getting low. So that's another thing to double check there as well.
Yeah, maybe try a corded mic
Yeah.
just to see if that helps at all. Or yeah, check those batteries and move a little closer. All right. One just below that here. Is there a way to monitor audio on switcher while using the lightning port to connect external microphone?
Yes. Okay.
Guzman.
Is there a way to monitor audio when using the lightning port to connect external microphones? Yes. Trying to think of the best way to explain this, or it's really going to come down to your net or your setup. Like, how are you doing your live stream? And how is your audio coming in? If it's like a lightning port directly plugged in, then the best you're going to have is like, if it's just like one mic plugged directly into there, the best you have is coming over here to the audio tab and make sure audio monitoring is enabled. But then you'd have to plug in something to hear it, and you can't. Okay. Yeah. So here's how I do these things. If there's like, if I'm using the plug and like there's not the headphone jack and stuff, and I'm not able to plug in that way, what I do is I do a test recording before I go live with everyone connected. Turn off the live streaming, just recording, which is again under broadcasting, choose none. And then you notice up here, it just says record.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I just do like a 30-second recording, everyone checking things and making sure the audio sounds good there. Now, like, you can do things like get the Lightning USB adapter, and if you're able to get your audio into that USB port, you know, you can use things like the Sabrent adapter. Like, it really does come down to how's your audio connecting, because I think a good way to look at it is, especially if like a mixer as well is another thing to consider, is plug your headphones into that mixer, do that recording again, so you kind of have a baseline of where things are going to be, and then from there you can fine tune it and adjust it. And then of course always keep an eye on that VU meter, make sure that's looking good when you're live and not getting too high or too low. If you have more questions, like this might be a good one, and let me swap back here and just say this might be a good one to email us if you have more questions or want a better concrete at support@switcherstudio.com. That's the wrong one. It's this one, support@switcherstudio.com, and just email us there. Tell us your setup, how you're doing it, and Jared or Jordan can probably help you out with that in the comments, and we'll answer those questions for you. Yes. Sorry, I'm not like, I mean, like, it just could be a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah,
so I don't want to.
Different ways. Terry here on Facebook said they did a 5-hour 90s dance with music video via Switchercast last month. That's a lot of dancing right there. That's awesome. So it worked flawlessly.
That's fun.
Recording from iPhone 13. That's so cool. You should share that in the group here, Terry. I would love to take a look at that if you don't mind.
Sure. I'm also very curious about. So again, back before Switcher was a thing, back in college, to make some, like, as a side hustle or whatever, Nick and I DJ'd weddings and school dances and stuff. So I'm curious, Terry, what's your 90s dance song that if the the vibe in the room's starting to deflate a little bit, what's your go-to to get people dancing from the 90s?
Hyped. What's the 90s were? I guess you didn't say hyped in the 90s. You said probably stoked.
Just get stoked. Dude, it's going to be a wicked awesome song.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Down here on Facebook as well, DJ Gus says, hi there. My question is, why, if I have a strong Wi-Fi, switcher disconnects me from Facebook and YouTube from multi-streaming? This happened to me yesterday.
And it's happened
like before.
Yeah. Just even if you have a good upload speed, there could be a lot of things going on. The first thing I'm going to check if that's happening is what's the status of that networking in your router. Like, are you streaming on a public Wi-Fi or something that's open that a lot of people can connect to? And if that's the case, try closing that network off. Limiting the number of people on that network can help so much with that, because if tons of people are using it, there's only so much of that internet that router can handle before it kind of slows down or has issues. The other thing is just looking at that router. How old is it? Is it plus 5 years? Possibly. It might be time to get a new one. And a lot of times if you call your internet service provider and you have like an outdated older router, they'll update and send you one, or come in and install a new one for free for you, because they want you to keep using their service. So those are the first two things I'm going to check out if that's happening. And I know there's this idea, and I think it's a misconception, that when you're multi-streaming, you're sending out more video, when that's not really the case. Even multi-streaming is just as network intensive as sending out a stream to just Facebook or YouTube or just a single location. What we're doing in this instance is we're taking that video from Switcher and we're just sending one video out to a server, and that server is syndicating and sending that video out to the multiple multi-streaming destinations. So your internet only has to account for that one video going out.
Right. Yep. Perfect.
Good questions.
Yep. Very good question. Terry says Whigfield Saturday Night, and I didn't know I knew this song, so I started playing it, and this is a hype song.
I forget that, like, Matt over here, guys, like, he's live with me and he's always listening to music. I don't understand how he's able to do that. He's got music going in the background.
I don't know. I'm used to it. Usually I don't listen to music with words. It's usually just like lo-fi or something, but I think I'm kind of like the anomaly. People don't usually do this, and I didn't realize that. So if you listen to music while you're in a meeting or live streaming, let me know in the comments.
Okay, 1998 is when it came out. My 90s go-to song. And then my answer for the question of if you had to play a song for the entire world to get as many people dancing as possible, it's Boom 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 by the Venga Boys.
Oh gosh.
That's my go-to. You got to get people dancing. There you go.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Again, like, I'll go back and say again, I see this like the switcher thing. Don't forget you can always reach out to us directly. I want to remind everybody, like, again, if you're still running into networking problems or want some more specific details on those, again, it's support@switcherstudio.com to email us. You can also find, like, there's a whole networking section on our support center or our help center, which is support.switcherstudio.com. So you can go there and just search networking, and we have a whole bunch of stuff there as well.
Like I said, Dan and I do this weekly, but we are not your only means of support.
Yes.
People are around. Asia was on last week. Asia, Jared, Angela, Marlene.
It was funny.
I'll wait and answer your questions. So go ahead.
Yeah, it was funny. Asia came on, and I was like, "All right, I'm going to throw questions to you, Asia, because normally I'm answering a whole bunch of these, but you know a ton of stuff." And the first question I threw at her was like, talking about very specific, like, bumping bit rates and like very technical, and she's like, "Come on, Dan."
Oh
So I
man.
took that one. Terry's saying that's a banger. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. All right. Midge on YouTube. Hi, stream only YouTube. Hope that a future update will provide the speed test option when setting the output options as it is on Facebook output settings.
Yeah, the reason that that's there on Facebook is that's like a speed test where we're able to ping off of Facebook servers. I have to make sure I'm saying the right one. Like I feel like I get into autopilot and I just say like Facebook or YouTube, and I have to make sure I'm doing the right one. But yeah, we're able to ping off of Facebook servers, so you get like, this is your internet speed directly from Facebook. So I don't know if it's possible with YouTube, but use something like speedof.me to check your internet, and that can help as well.
Yep, it's true. And I've also been told that there's a difference between using Chrome and using Safari to check those. Like you're going to get different numbers, which is wild to me. I had no idea until last week.
I need to know that. I didn't know that.
So also rest in peace, Internet Explorer.
Yeah,
you gave us a long run. Gone but not forgotten. So cool. Anything else, Dan? Looks like we're kind of winding up our questions here. Terry, your event is private. I couldn't open it. I tried to link it. It says this video is private. Yeah, sorry. Anything else, Dan?
No, I think see you here, support That's What Your Studio.
Yep.
Thanks, Claire, for adding that one in. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good stopping point, I'd say.
Hang out with us on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. We'll be doing not Dan and I, but Morgan and some ping tag people. We'll be doing some.
Here's your outro music, Matt.
Oh, thank you. Some live streaming chat. So hope you're all having a great day, and I hope you do have a great day. Thank you so much for your questions. Dan, thank you for your knowledge. We'll be back next Monday, this coming Monday, to answer more of your questions. And if we didn't get to your question, or if you looked at it later, just drop them in the chat here, or put it in the group, or on YouTube, or wherever. Write us at support. And we will see you all later on. Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks everyone for tuning in. And see you later.
Bye.